It's interesting that people with speech difficulties, stuttering, whether it's stuttering or an R sound or anything like that, for some reason it seems like people think that there's something else wrong with the person, like maybe they're not very smart.
I'm Elias, and I'm 7 years old, and my grade is 2nd.
Some of these kids might grow out of their speech problems given time, but the question is what's going to happen to them in the meantime? Are they going to be, given a self-image that is just not positive,
I couldn't get the quite right R, and I didn't have the right position with my tongue.
Let's give me your best there. Ooh, hey, that was good. That was really good.
Teachers are really nice, and they play games with you and they have you do pretty easy stuff to make you do your R's right, and whatever you're working on.
Yeah, S, T, H, R, those are the ones that tend to be the more problematic ones. Well, it's very treatable. Most kids, we talked earlier about how long it takes, that can vary, but 6, 8 months, up to a year sometimes.
I thought it was gonna be like blah, 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 this big sheet of paper that you have to read all these R words, blah, 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 and work on your own the whole time you're there.
It's kind of weird being with Elias today because I sounded just like that. My O's came out like this, and I couldn't change it. My mom and dad would tell me how they were teachers, so they tried to get me to learn how to speak better, but they weren't trained in how to do it. So this speech therapist worked with me every day and taught me how to correct my R's so that I could say Rick Dancer.
Yeah. Nowadays the thinking is really if there's a problem, which means if we can determine that the child is significantly behind where they should be for their age, the earlier the better, really.
Well, see, I used to get teased a lot. I think we've learned something since then. It sounds like people aren't as teased as much, but I was teased relentlessly because people would come up and say, you O's, and they'd make fun of you, and Wiki can't say his name, and stuff like that. And as a little kid, it was terrible. It started I was quiet and shy, believe it or not, anyway. And I think that kind of played a role in that because I didn't want to communicate. Because when I did, it was a buffer between me and saying an actual word. So I didn't talk as much when I was a little kid like that.
The teachers are smart, and they make up a way to make kids feel at home with working on their R's or whatever.
I think that's the thing that's exciting sitting in there watching Elias is, we have to be able to communicate. And that's what Eugene Hearing and Speech Center is all about, is learning to communicate with other people, whether it's hearing or talking. And anything that stands in your way can be an obstacle to being who you really are.
Yes, she is. And by the way, that was really good with actually the first time you said it was just the best.